What's up, you guys? Danger Rock here. Today we're going to be looking at this Toy Story weightlifting Rocky Gibraltar. This figure came out in 2009 and it was released by Mattel. He was available in stores towards the release of Toy Story 3, and he's still my favorite Rocky figure that I have in my collection. Now, he is not actually movie size, but that's actually okay because I really like the sculpt and detail on him. There was another version of this that was a Toys R Us exclusive, which was a little bit smaller in scale compared to this. And there was also a Mattel Rocky I believe it was made in 2018. I really like the face sculpt and everything on this guy. And since he's like one of the miscellaneous characters from the movie, he only appeared in Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2. He was kind of like a background character. Like, if you guys remember, he was strong enough to actually throw Woody out of the back of the moving van in the original Toy Story. And when I knew they made this guy, I just actually really wanted him. I think he's a really great Rocky figure. So taking a closer look at him, the only accessory that he came with was a pair of weights that you could port right here into his hands. I unfortunately do not have that, sadly. I got this guy loose, and the reason why I got him loose is because new in packaging, he is extremely expensive. So I wasn't really looking at spending that kind of money, but out of the package, I don't think he cost anywhere near as much. But what's really cool about him is I feel like Rocky here is built more like a He-Man action figure, and I actually used to have a He-Man action figure, and if you played with those, you would know that they break pretty easily. So it's kind of like a theory that Andy broke Rocky, but that was never confirmed. Maybe he was just sold at a yard sale or something. But I really like the look of this guy right here on his belt. You can see right there it says Rocky Gibraltar, and it's just a sticker. His face is actually very nicely done. I actually didn't like about the newer Mattel Rocky is that he kind of had more of like a smiling face. Here he kind of has like a angry face almost. And what's really cool about him is the paint detail, like the red right here on his belt and the blue right here at the bottom of his feet is also well done. And he's got this lever right here on the back, which if we pull it down, it would lift up the weights if I had them. And articulation-wise, Rocky does not have any in his head. His arms go up and down. They're a bit limited, though, because of his play feature. And his arms only move that far. And his legs don't really move very well at all. He does have peg holes at the bottom of his feet. On the back here, right here, you can see it says Disney Pixar China, and then there's a serial number back there. And he has like these weird, like, they almost kind of look like battery cover things on the back of the figure, which I really don't like that too much. But then again, this figure is actually pretty old now. He's like 15 years old figure right now. But he stands well, perfectly fine without any balance issues. And well, I really wish that not only for the release of Toy Story 5, that since this figure was made by Mattel and Mattel has the Toy Story license now, I really wish they would reissue some of these figures, like the background characters, like Mr. Spell, the Hockey Puck, Etch-a-Sketch, and all that would also be really cool. What I do have, though, as far as comparisons go, if we move Rocky aside here, here is the Toy Story and Beyond Rocky that came out in the early 2000s. And what's really interesting about it is that in the Toy Story Beyond line of figures, they gave us all these cool figures like Woody and Buzz in different colors. They all had different play features, but we actually got some of the background characters, like Rocky here. It's just a little minifigure. His hands are forced in this position, but you can move them if you like. After doing some research on him, I was trying to remember what this guy's packaging looked like. And he doesn't really have any articulation whatsoever, but they did include the red detail right here on his feet, which this one over here doesn't have, unfortunately. But I do like the body and look of this one a lot more than this one right here. But I did think that this would be a fun little figure. It was interesting how Hasbro released some of these background characters as part of their Toy Story and Beyond line. But it also might be like Hasbro had a lot of the license to those characters, like Slinky Dog, Mr. Potato Head, which is something that other toy companies didn't have. But this one right here was released by Mattel. This one right here was released by Hasbro. So there is a bit of a difference. And what's really cool is what I also found here, which was also released in that Toy Story Beyond line of figures, is right here we have Roller Bob, one of Sid's mutant toys. And he actually had a play feature where if you just pull this back, it'll move. But I think that's really cool because this is one of the only toys out there of Roller Bob that we get. This one came out in 2003, and it's a really nice toy to have. But going back to Rocky here, I gotta say, you know, the best Rocky Gibraltar figures out there are the custom ones. But as far as released by a toy company would go, I guess you could get the like newer, but it's not technically new, the recent Mattel Rocky, because that one isn't really expensive. But I just didn't like his face sculpt. This one right here is a perfect balance between the two. So if I had to recommend one, it would be this one, made by a toy company. It's just my opinion, but I actually prefer this version a lot more than some of the other versions out there, which there's very few Rocky toys made out there. So if you're a big Toy Story 1 fan, this was a must-have for me. And I would totally recommend him. He's a really cool Rocky figure. Yep. So this has been my review of the weightlifting Rocky Gibraltar figure that came out in 2009, almost before 2010 for the release of Toy Story 3. If you liked this video, please leave a like. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I want to say thank you for every one of you for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. And I'm definitely working on a collection video for you guys, so stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I'll see you guys on the next video review.